Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to sports talk.
The Bengals had gotten better over the last 3 weeks, and of course they had Ryan Finley as their quarterback, the rookie out of NC State, and he was killing them. And just the Jets' luck that all of a sudden he was going to be benched and they were going to bring Andy Dalton back. You know, Andy Dalton wasn't the second coming, of Carson Palmer or anything like that. He was good. He managed the game and all that other stuff. But you know what was really disappointing about this game yesterday?
Jets offense.
The Jets offense didn't even get in the red zone, and the drop passes and the penalties. I mean, Kelvin Beachum might as well have just stayed home. He had an awful game.
The Jets paid Le'Veon Bell to be the person to take the pressure off of Sam Darnold. And they don't know how to use him worth for nothing. It's like he just there making his money. Because they don't know how to utilize his skill sets. They don't know how to use him out of the backfield. They don't know how to use him in the wide receiving. Like, they just don't know what they want to do with Le'Veon. It's like he just there to pick up his money and chill. They don't know how. And it's good to see the city get their first win.
We like Kelvin.
The holding in the end zone.
Had a horrific safety. Game. And, you could talk about leadership. You could talk about who's screaming on the sideline. You could talk about who's crying after the game and all this other crap. I mean, that was a game where when you look at it, and this is on the coaching staff, I'm sorry, you have got to make sure that your team is not taking anything for granted. And I know that Adam talked about this last week, so I heard him talking about it. And to have his team come out, and I don't care what anybody says, that was a flat freaking football team that looked like it was going to mail it in. And, Robbie Anderson could have made a nice catch in the end zone, and we've seen him make catches like this time and again. A player making a play, that's what it comes down to. A player, making a penalty. A quarterback who didn't turn the ball over yesterday, but did get sacked a number of times. Carlos Dunlap had his best game of the year, of course. And it was just...
It shows you need protection up front. Adam Gase need to know what team he have. It's like he just throwing guys out there and don't know how to use them. He don't put his players in the right position. Offensive line can't protect Sam Darnold. Dunlap had his best game all through this season. And the defense helped the Bengals win Sunday.
It was a game where you just never, ever felt like the Jets ever got into the game. Yeah. And it was a close game for the most part. It was never a game where the Bengals were, running away with it and getting to 30 points or something like that. It was a frustratingly flat, just absolutely horrific performance, one that included 10 penalties. And that was the biggest stat that jumped off the page to me, because both teams' offenses were about the same. They kind of moved between the 20s, but the Bengals made a couple plays and the Jets didn't. And then all of a sudden, you look at the penalty stat sheet and you say, how many key penalties did we have that took big plays away from us that never allowed us to get into any sort of rhythm? I'm sorry, that's on the coaching staff, man. That is directly right at the head coach. It's his job to get his team.
It's his job to put his players in the right position to be able to succeed, be able to put points on the board. He didn't put them in the right position. He put them all out of position, and that team didn't score. They only scored 6 points. They didn't even get in the end zone.
Ready? And their team was not ready at any point. It all started, Le'Veon Bell drops the ball in the first drive. And you're like, man, I hope this isn't a sign of things.
Well, they ended up getting a field goal on that first drive, moved right down the field. Like, that's their MO,
but
right?
Just a whole...
And then after that, nothing! And I know that you get on the Jet fan for being too negative. Sometimes you're tired of hearing it.
Right to be negative today.
But this is why. This is why. Because stuff like this happens all the time to them, where they start to believe a little bit, they feel better about themselves, and then boom, the punch in the face. And that's why I think out of all the losses this year, the 33-0 seeing ghost game, and that was to a good team, whatever. The Miami Dolphins game, Sam was still getting back. I mean, this one was the worst because you started to believe in your quarterback again. You started to believe in the head coach for the first time this year. The offense was putting up 30 points a game consistently, and now you have...
He had success in Miami. How do he get a coaching job with the Jets? You don't get the same outcome with Adam Gase. Miami let him go because he didn't get the job done for him. And the Jets gonna bring him in and say his job is secure. He had success down south in Miami. And y'all gonna get him a job and say it's secure? It's the coaching staff up to them to be able to give their players a chance to succeed, put them in the right position, call the right plays. And it seemed like they was flat-footed that game. And the Bengals got them one.
On your resume, you are the first victory for not one but two teams in the NFL that were losing every single game. The Cincinnati Bengals could not win a game. It wasn't Ryan Finley the entire year. It was Andy Dalton in the beginning of the year. Then he gets benched and things got worse for them with Ryan Finley. You cannot lose to an 0-11 football team. I ended up picking the Bengals on Friday to cover, but I still thought that the Jets would win, maybe last-second field goal, something, because I believed in what they were building. And I don't even know if they believe in what they're building with that performance yesterday.
Do you know where the Cincinnati Bengal defense ranks in the NFL?
It's got to be either last or next to last. It has to be.
It is next to last. So this is who the Jets have lost to this year. The Miami Dolphins, third worst defense. Cincinnati Bengals, second worst defense. They've lost to both of those teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it is mind-numbing that they would put a performance out there like they did last.
The Bengals defense played good Sunday. They locked in, kept the Jets out of the end zone. Even though their defense is last, but they played good that game to be able to give them their first win. Bengals went back to Andy Dalton because they were looking to get Zach Taylor his first win. They benched him for Ryan Finley and threw him in a fire that he wasn't ready for. Some of the players' targets went down, so they had to go back to Andy Dalton to get their targets back up because that chemistry wasn't there. Tyler Boyd touches went down because that chemistry, he ain't have it with Finley. That's why they went back to Andy Dalton, because they know that chemistry is there with him. The Jets don't know what direction they going in right now.
This week.
With all the momentum in their favor in this season. I mean, they had three great wins in a row. And this was supposed to be another one. This could have been the easiest one. But it really just seemed like, after that Raiders win, I don't know, whatever cliche you want to use, started believing the press clippings or whatever it was, but they came out the exact opposite of the way that they had the last couple of weeks. There was a purpose the last 3 weeks. Like, we want to show that we aren't one of the worst teams in the NFL. And then it was like yesterday, they wanted to show that they were one of the worst teams in the NFL. So this is now Adam Gase once again. It's amazing, week to week, the roller coaster, right? Like, all of a sudden you believe in the coach, you believe in the quarterback, you believe in the direction that they're going, and now all of a sudden you feel like they're back at square one because they're capable of something like this. I don't know how you can go from offensively doing basically whatever you wanted for 3 straight games. Ball down the field, running the football, Sam Darnold looking great, to not scoring a touchdown against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, the other thing that's it's a little bit puzzling to me, not a little bit, it's a lot of it puzzling to me. I mean, I don't know the way he is on the field, on the sideline. Those things I can't judge because I can only watch from afar. And that is like, what is going on with Le'Veon Bell? Like, what are they trying to do with him? Are they trying to do anything with him? I mean,
don't know what they want to do with him. You bring a good running back in there to take the pressure off of your young quarterback. You don't continue putting everything on his shoulders. You get a football to Le'Veon Bell so the defense can be able to bring 8 in the box so you can open up everything for Sam Darnold. Instead of you trying to put it on his shoulders, that's when you brought Le'Veon Bell in to take the pressure off of him. What is you going to do with him? It's like you just brought him in. Don't know what to do with Le'Veon.
I would think that you're playing against one of the worst run defenses in football. You got to believe he's got to touch the ball. And I know that there were a lot of these stupid penalties that took back big plays that the Jets had, or drop passes that took back a potential big play for the Jets. So it was like one of those things, like they never were able to like get it going. And when you can't get it going, you can't call plays where a guy like Le'Veon Bell is going to ever get into a rhythm. And it's like they cannot figure out what to do with him.
Yeah, well,
it's either him or it's them, meaning the coaching staff. I mean, like, what is he?
Yeah, right now he's
a $15 million bust.
No, well, I think a lot of it has to do. It seems like that right now, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that Adam Gase never wanted the guy. Now I don't think that he's deliberately sabotaging him, but he's just not someone that.
I would not go to a team, a head coach that don't want me. It don't seem like he know how to use him. It seems like he don't really care about using him because he didn't want him in the first place. He said it. How you don't want a Pro Bowl running back that could make your offensive line look good because he's a patient runner? Who don't want a Le'Veon Bell? You don't want him, so it seems like you don't know how to use him. Anyone would kill to have Le'Veon Bell as their running back because they know what they're getting out of the backfield.
He thought about in his offense, and then he's there on this roster, and then he's got to figure out how to use him, and he just doesn't know how to use him.
How to use him? I mean,
it's amazing.
The guy, I know he dropped the pass in the first series. How to use him? I mean,
you got to run him.
You got to run him, and you got to throw the ball to him. This is a guy that's had 80 catches in a season.
I know it doesn't seem like he understands what he's capable of.
I don't understand why he just does not get more opportunities. I mean, I don't care if it's a screen. I don't care if it's a wide receiver where he lines up in the slot. You throw them a screen. Somehow, some way, he has got to touch the ball more. Now, again, I don't know what he's like in practice. I don't know what he's like in the meetings. I don't know how many mistakes he's making on the field, and I certainly don't know what he's like during game day.
Well,
this could be a completely different person and player than the Steelers had when he was in his heyday.
But his heyday, here's the problem, though. His heyday was the last year that he played. He was as good as anybody in football. Then he takes a year off where there's nowhere.
He went to the wrong coach. He went to the wrong team. He went there because it was a big contract for him. That's why he's in New York right now. You hire a coach that only played coaching one playoffs his whole tenure with Miami. And the same thing he did in Miami, the same thing he doing in New York. Don't have no idea, no identity what his team want to be.
Hair on his body. He comes back in shape and he looks like a washed-up football player. Now, I don't know how much of that's on him or how much it's on the coaching staff, whatever, but he doesn't look. This is not a guy who missed a year because of injury. This isn't a guy who is now 30 years old. This is not someone who. There's no excuse.
Well, I would say, publicly he seems to be coming off great. Right? He's saying all the right things. He seems like he's been very supportive of his coach and his quarterback and everything. Privately could be another, different thing. Like, is he late for meetings? Is he missing walkthroughs? Is he, doing, walking to his?
Jets need a coach that know how to use their players. They need the right coach to be in there to be able to know how to use every skill Sam Darnold had, every skill Le'Veon Bell had. They don't know what they want to do. They got a good wide receiver core. Anderson. Thomas. You got the players there, but can you coach them and put them in the right situation?
Own bird or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know any of that stuff.
Walking to his own bird.
I made that up. I don't know what to call it. Walking to his own tune or something.
The beat of his own drum.
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even if he was, he's too talented to be this bad.
But I know, but there's something wrong around him and this team. And I don't know if it's the offense, the way Adam's calling plays, or I just don't know. I swear to you, Jet fans, I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out what the hell is going on with him, because it's mind-numbing to me that the previous general manager would pay him $15 million a year, and then his production would be the lowest of his career. It's almost like he's back when he was a rookie.